Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Hugh. October is the month of change, and it was a great month for Manchester United. The trees changed from green to brown, the leaves swished from their perch at the tops of their branches, the clocks confused us, the cups in Starbucks went from white to red. Meanwhile, Manchester United, for the first time in a long time, seemed calm. They dealt with the inevitable sticky City start, went 8 games unbeaten after that, keeping 5 clean sheets, and Marcus Rashford had learned how to tie the laces of his shooting boots again. Then came November, and the calmness went on the bonfire. Real Sociedad celebrated, United pushed into a battle with Barcelona, and then Villa handed them their backsides on Sunday, and the fireworks were back. Unai Emery immediately put a rocket up Villa, and they won't want to fizzle out quickly in the Carabao Cup tonight. It is a jam-packed Old Trafford for this third round of the Carabao Cup. Manchester United coming into the competition at this juncture. It's a second game in it for Aston Villa. Game day returns this Saturday. We've got 2 live commentaries for you at the top and bottom of the day. Arsenal play late on Saturday night, 7:45, only on Talksport. We're at Manchester City, Mickey and I, at lunchtime as they look to try and finish this first portion of the season on top spot. But tonight we're concentrating on the Carabao Cup, round 3. There's been a few upsets already, and some big teams have already departed the scene. Manchester United do not want to be one of those. Knocked out at this stage last year, beaten by Villa on Sunday. They don't want history repeating itself tonight. David Kuhn is our referee, gets us off and underway. Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts, black socks, attacking the goal away to our right. It's the light blue of Aston Villa, claret shorts and light blue socks, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. The 2-11s in just a second, but Mickey Gray, former Sunderland and Blackburn defender and Talksport's Manchester correspondent. Manchester United have a score to settle, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. It wasn't a good performance from them at the weekend, Sam, and I think they've got to try and put that right, certainly this evening, although they've made a lot of changes. But it's a reaction from the squad, not the starting 11 from the weekend. And Eric Ten Hag has started to demand those type of things. He'll know that Aston Villa will have their tails up. They're obviously full of confidence after that performance. And he'll expect the exactly same thing, albeit playing away from home. So this is a tough task for Manchester United. And look, this club is built on trophies, and it's been a long time since they brought one back here.
Indeed. Dubravka is the goalkeeper. Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Malacia the back four for Manchester United. McTominay, Fred, Van der Beek and Fernandes, Rashford and Martial. They're shooting from left to right in the first half on Talksport. And Aston Villa with Olsen in goal. Augustinson, Concert, Chambers and Young the back four. Augustinson playing at left back, Young at right back. In midfield it's Kamara, Douglas Luiz and McGinn and Jacob Ramsey also in that midfield. Over on the right hand side, just putting a little bit of pressure on Malacia. Up front, Ings and Watkins. The ball is broken to the left side, and Augustinson of Aston Villa has it, charging away from Bruno Fernandes, getting to the byline, playing against Fernandes, who then manages to hit the ball against him and doesn't concede a corner, which I think everybody thought was inevitable. It wasn't in the end.
Interesting position this for Bruno Fernandes on the right hand side. See what his attitude's like, see if he likes it.
Yeah, just to clarify, we thought it might be 4-2-2-2. It does look very much as if it's 4-1-4-1, with Rashford and Fernandes out on the flanks and Fred and Van der Beek just behind Anthony Martial, with Scott McTominay the deepest lying of the midfield players. Dalot from right fullback, kicking it clear from right to left. Malacia takes it out of the sky, wrestles the ball away from Ramsey, plays it into Rashford, celebrating an England call-up. He hasn't played for England since the Euro 2020 final, Marcus Rashford, but he's on the plane going to Qatar. And Manchester United have certainly seen him get better and better as the season has gone on. He's still not scoring too many goals, Mickey Gray, but he's getting into better positions.
Yes, he is, and I think well, we all questioned where his form had been for a couple of seasons, but he certainly turned that round. And that's a lot of credit to him. We don't know what was happening away from football, Sam. I think that's something that maybe needs asking to Marcus Rashford, but his quality is not in question this season.
Test of that Martial hamstring as he runs down the right-hand side and tries to get in between the two centre-backs. Across comes Callum Chambers and just about sees it back to Robin Olsen in the goal away to our right. Interesting for Robin Olsen to be playing today. It's his second ever start for Aston Villa, his first of the season. He played 65 minutes this campaign, came off the bench against Newcastle and conceded 4 goals.
Yeah, and I think there was a big game that he was involved in at the end of last season, Sam, with Aston Villa played against Manchester City on the final day of the season, and it was a big surprise to everybody. But I think Martinez had his problems and he wasn't involved that day, so it's a big night for him tonight.
0-0, you're listening to Talksport. We've played just over 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and it's the Carabao Cup for us tonight, as it was the last couple of nights. Been a fascinating few evenings on Talksport with Adrian and the boys the last couple of nights. We're here now at Old Trafford under the lights with Manchester United coming forward. Fred under pressure from McTominay. Midway point of the Aston Villa half is robbed by McGinn, and then back to Louise up to halfway, and then Watkins being harassed by Harry Maguire. Maguire commits the foul, and a free kick is given left side of the centre circle for Aston Villa inside their own half. We're at the back of the South Stand here at Old Trafford, watching down as Unai Emery folds his hands behind his back, big stadium jacket on tonight. It's pretty windy out there on the playing surface. I walked up to Old Trafford from Wolfside tram stop earlier on, and it was blowing an absolute gale. But it's not cold, is it? It's mild.
It's not, and I've got about 5 layers on.
And you're sweating one out already. Here is Dallo, who, despite the pressure from Watkins, is not sweating one out. He did a brilliant little forward turn to get himself out of a tight spot and plays it into McTominay, who gets it up to the halfway line. Over to the left it goes, collected by Rashford, who gallops forward at a real good speed, moves into an advanced position. Ramsey comes across, nabs the ball from him, and will be able to clear from the right full-back position despite the pressure that Rashford has applied to him. 5 minutes gone, 0-0.
He does that quite a lot, doesn't he, Marcus? He shows the ball to a full-back and he hopes that his pace is going to get him out of trouble. But on that occasion, I think he just showed a little bit too much, and you can't get away with that. Certainly playing over on that left-hand side. And what frustrates forward players is when you do keep giving the ball away, because Anthony Martial is probably hoping for the service from him, and also from the similar side from Bruno Fernandes over on this right-hand side.
Augustinsson clicking it between his own heels in the left full-back position, gets it back towards Callum Chambers. It's across to Robin Olsen. They're deep inside their own half here, Aston Villa, meandering up the field and trying to get forward, but it's a poor ball out of defence by Young, which hands Manchester United the ball back again before it's smuggled off Danny Ings and out for a throw-in on the halfway. 0-0. Manchester United caught cold at Villa Park. They need to start with intention this evening. This is a route to silverware that they cannot afford to give up.
No, absolutely not, Sam. 8 Premier League sides have gone out this competition already, and this is a big one for Manchester United. You don't have to play too many games to get all the way to the final in this competition. You've got to take it deadly serious.
Yeah, the draw for the 4th round, by the way, is after this game tonight, and it will include Brighton, Liverpool, just City and Newcastle. But Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham and West Ham are out as the ball goes forward up towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, and it was asking for De Bradford to come and retrieve it on the edge of the box. He did that ahead of Watkins, and they bowl it out into midfield, and Manchester United have got it again. 6-7 minutes played now at Old Trafford on Talksport. McTominay under pressure from Ings turns and takes the ball over to the halfway line, sends it wide to the far side, gives it to Malacia into Fred, back to McTominay, and then all the way back to Lindelof, who's playing as the left of the 2 centre-halves tonight. Sent forward by the Swede, over to the far left for Marcus Rashford, who gets it back to Donny van der Beek but couldn't control the return. It's cleared upfield by Aston Villa, and then looking to try and spin him behind as the ball bounces kindly for him. Danny Ings is out-muscled by Lindelof, and Manchester United have it back. An early ball played forward by Malacia, asking too much of Martial, but then maybe asking too much of Robin Olsen as well, because he was alerted to the presence of Fernandes getting to the edge of the box, and he wasn't speedy enough to clear it. And in the end, Bruno Fernandes put enough pressure on Olsen that he conceded a corner.
Well, if Aston Villa are going to play such a high line like they just did then, that is not the worst ball in the world from the left-hand side from Malacia. It's a fantastic ball in behind, and Fernandes nearly got in the end of it.
Olsen, in the end, took emergency action. Here's the first corner of the game. Fernandes back to the edge of the area and Rashford then sends across towards Maguire, far post, heads it into the air. Malacia recycles it, goes across the face of goal, and then drops behind in the end and goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. You're listening to Talksport, and tomorrow morning on the breakfast show with Alan Brazil, Wayne Rooney is on to talk about England. It'd be interesting to see what he said. I mean, I don't know if you've been reading any of his columns that he does in the Sunday Times, Wayne Rooney, but I mean, he has been brilliant in those columns. He's so good at analysing the game, and he'll be fantastic for us tomorrow morning on the breakfast show. When you wake up tomorrow, just ask your smart speaker to play Talksport or get the app. Wake yourself up, turn it on. It's a good listen every morning from 6. Here's McTominay through the middle of the pitch up to Fred. Fred back to the right, collected by Dalot, who's in the Portugal squad. Infield to McTominay, and then Manchester United looking to dominate the ball inside Aston Villa territory for the first time in the match, really.
It's interesting what you said before, Sam, about Lindelof playing as the left centre-back. If you go back to when Man United weren't very good, it was always Maguire on the left-hand side.
Here down the left is Malacia getting into the box, trying to pull it through the area, and a good tackle by Young slides the ball behind on the edge of the 6-yard box and out for another corner to Manchester United, who down the flanks look dangerous.
Yeah, well, it's a much brighter start from Manchester United than the weekend. A lot of possession. They're trying to get the ball in the better areas, which is down that left and right hand side. They're making the pitch wide, they're making it long, they're using the pace that they've got up front, and they're causing Aston Villa problems in the early stages.
Erik ten Hag was demanding a reaction yesterday. He said he's seen a change in attitude, a better winning mentality, but there was an opportunity here to show that and bounce back, and that's what Manchester United are trying to do from that defeat on Monday. He said that attitude, that newfound attitude, had crept in during the month of October. You could see it starting to develop. There will be ups and downs. We've said that over the course of the season, haven't we? We've been here quite a lot together, but ultimately they aren't going to win every game. Here's Rashford offside as the ball comes over the top for him and chests it down. There's no VAR to check that tonight, so, and no matter how tight it was, they weren't going to allow it to continue because the flags are going up a lot faster. David Coote, the referee, by the way, tonight.
So the officials are actually getting paid for what they're supposed to do tonight, which is very interesting, isn't it?
It's a bit cynical, Mickey.
Yes, cynical but very true, and it's right. I think it was the right decision. It looked like Marcus was in an offside position there, but I do like what I'm seeing. They're trying to get in behind, they're using that diagonal pass, which people might think, oh, it's a get-out ball. Well, it's not. It's a fantastic ball when it comes off. I mean, I was at Sunderland for many years, different level to what Manchester United have been over the years, but it works.
Olsen playing out into midfield, and that's not a great touch by Ramsey. They've turned it over. Manchester United high up inside Villa territory, didn't quite come to Martial. Malacia fighting for it back over on the far side. Young's given it to Bruno Fernandes, and then it's been touched around the corner for Fernandes, but there was a foul on Young, and a free kick has been given in the right full-back position for Aston Villa over on the far side. You're listening to Talksport. 11 and a half minutes played. And Manchester United's players certainly, I think, will be bruised and battered a little bit from Sunday's defeat. Things were going quite well for them up until that point. They went into that contest, I think probably it's fair to say, below full strength. A number of players were suspended. Fernandes was suspended for that game. Ronaldo played up top, and we know that he hasn't got the pace that he once had, and hasn't been as deadly as he can be and has been in the past. And the team selection was just a little odd. I found the fact that they included Van der Beek and Garnacho from the start maybe out of necessity, really, because they've had some injuries in those wide positions and some lack of form for people like Jadon Sancho.
And I think Erik ten Hag will probably turn around, Sam, wouldn't he, and say, look, I'm going to have to rotate my squad, which is what he had to do. But did he have to play both players in the same team?
I just think they probably will feel when they look back at it they should have competed more than they did.
Absolutely.
Dalot on the near touchline, back to Maguire, down the touchline it goes looking for Van der Beek. It's away by Callum Chambers at the heart of the Aston Villa defence. He nods it forward. It comes down towards McTominay, who takes control. It goes back to Dubravka in goal. Before the weekend, Aston Villa had managed just one win in 6 matches, but Unai Emery got off to the perfect start at Villa Park, and he's patrolling that technical area with a degree of speed.
Sorry, Sam, I'm just looking at Van der Beek. He's positioning. I just wonder whether he knows how to play that position. He's drifting around, but he's getting sucked towards the ball every single time it's over on the left-hand side. He's running across there. He's making the pitch too tight for Manchester United to play those intricate passes in the final third.
Well, they did give him the chance during pre-season. He was the only player to play all 6 pre-season matches. This is his 7th appearance of the regular season. Erik ten Hag should know what he is all about, bearing in mind that he won the double alongside Van der Beek at Ajax in 2019. But I don't think the expected revival of him, which was anticipated when Erik ten Hag was given the job, has materialised just yet. Aston Villa have the ball inside their own half. Konsa runs into traffic and very quickly almost gets turned over again high up inside Villa territory. It's a poor kick out by Dubravka. The ball gets caught in the wind. Rashford is putting pressure on Augustinson, and then Van der Beek is steamed into a challenge for which he's probably going to be booked.
Well, he's a lucky boy if he doesn't get a booking for that. There was no way he was going to win the ball. I think he knew he was always going to be second best, and then he's probably thinking in his head, I can't let the player just skip by me, I'm going to look foolish. The referee, David Coote, has let him off with a little bit of a warning there, but I'm sure the next foul that Van der Beek makes, he has to find himself in the book.
He was so late.
He was. I mean, we've just seen a replay of there. And that's a player, Sam. Look, what are we? We're 14 minutes into the game. He's not really got himself involved so far. He's chasing around like one of the elder kids in the schoolyard, thinking that he should be the best player, but he's not. I don't think that position suits him. Well, I actually don't know what position suits him, but he's drifting around trying to get involved in the game, and it's like his players are just looking at him thinking, well, no, I can't give you in that position because we know what will happen. We give the ball away.
Well, Manchester United have started with a bit of purpose, pressing high up from the front. They've won the ball back several times, but when they have won it back, like they've just done now, they've given it away very quickly. Here's Jacob Ramsey again. McTominay turns it over, tries to play it down the left for Rashford. The quality of the ball's not good enough, and it's cut out by Ezri Konsa, stationed midway between the edge of his penalty area and the centre circle. He plays it square to Chambers. Chambers gets it back again. Meanders forward, plays it onto the left, and Augustinson, who was an unused sub at the weekend, got a hamstring issue after just 45 minutes of his Aston Villa debut against Leeds and had to be subbed, and hasn't been seen too much since. And it goes all the way back to goalkeeper Robin Olsen into the feet of Boubacar Kamara. And then out wide it goes a little bit further, looking for Young, but Olsen's kick is a poor one. It floats straight out of play, and Aston Villa haven't really settled either.
No, they haven't. They're finding it really difficult to get out of their own half. They're trying to string some passes in their own 18-yard box, and I think they're trying to hope that they get half a yard where they can get Watkins and Danny Ings probably turning this back line of Manchester United. But I think that on one occasion Watkins has got in behind them, but it's not happening enough for them. They need a lot more possession, and they've just got to try and get a stranglehold in the game, because at the minute it's Manchester United, but albeit they haven't really caused too many problems in that final third themselves.
Great ball by Rashford out towards this near side. Fernandes is flagged offside and is furious about it. So with the crowd really a little bit frustrated. He shouldn't be offside in that position. Whether or not he is or not, we haven't got the opportunity to see just yet, but it was very tight, I thought.
Well, I've just had a look at it again, Sam, and I don't think he was offside. It was Chambers, the centre-half of Aston Villa, who was keeping him onside as the ball was played. I think that was the frustration for Fernandes when he just scuffed the ball away straight away, and he was so frustrated. But it was a nice ball. Again, they've tried that a lot tonight, Manchester United, so far. That diagonal from left to right to Fernandes.
Well, he is playing nominally as a right midfielder tonight, the furthest on that right-hand side. Aston Villa again playing out from the back, but being pressed relentlessly by Manchester United. Lindelof into Fred. I mean, it's not Manchester City level pressing, it's not Liverpool at their best pressing, but they are causing disruption for Aston Villa. Here is Ramsey over on the far touchline now, into the feet of Watkins, who gets it back to halfway. Aston Villa now with Callum Chambers on the ball, just short of the halfway line. Looks up, needs an outlet. Augustinson provides it. Claret shorts, and light blue tops for Aston Villa tonight. Ball swung by Douglas Luiz towards the far side. Taking the ball down on his chest was Ashley Young. He moves forward at pace and then releases it to Watkins, who loses it quickly, and Fred and Rashford between them win it back, and Fred now asking to play the ball into Rashford. The offside flag has gone up, and I've got to be honest with you, Manchester United putting the ball in the back of the net, but the flag has gone up a long time ago. I think Fred delayed the pass for too long.
We can see it from here, Sam. He wins the ball, he does great, he gets himself turned, he can see the run from Marcus Rashford, he holds on to it, he holds on to it, he holds on to it, and then eventually when he does play the ball, Marcus Rashford is 3 or 4 yards offside. You have to do things quicker. This is one thing that they're going to miss tonight, is that guile in midfield of Eriksen and maybe Casemiro in there. It's not there with McTominay and Fred.
But they've got Van der Beek and Bruno Fernandes to do that, haven't they? I mean, that isn't usually Fred's job. But and also, he could have released it a lot earlier. It wasn't under any pressure.
No,
he had a lot of time. He just needed to get it out of his feet quicker.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is one of the frustrating things when I see Fred. I know you watched him a few weeks ago against Tottenham and said it was absolutely incredible. Well, he is going to have certain games like that. But I think he's got to learn a job. What he's in there for is winning the ball back, giving it to somebody who's got a little bit more about them when they're on the ball, and then you would say, right, okay, we know what Fred's all about now, because I think McTominay's got to learn a lesson from that also.
That was the game that he was doing all the little Cruyff turns and stuff like that, wasn't it?
No, I wasn't here, you were with Adrian, but I was listening to you and I was quite surprised, but I was quite happy, because obviously Manchester United got a very good result that night. But how many times has he had performances like that in a Manchester United shirt?
Mickey obviously is very much Sunderland associated, but it probably is worth revealing that you did play for Manchester United when you were a kid, didn't you? That's why
exactly, and that's why I've got an affiliation for Manchester United. I started here as a youngster. They gave me the opportunity in football, so that's why I love coming to Old Trafford.
20 minutes gone. It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. You're listening to Talksport live at Old Trafford, and Unai Emery rather animatedly on the touchline is gesticulating wildly. Manchester United have been the better team in the game. They haven't had too many chances as of yet. Aston Villa have offered very, very little so far. Both teams made 7 changes after the weekend, and at the moment it's a game that Manchester United are just edging, but not yet able to trouble Robin Olsen too readily. Here is Maguire inside his own half, playing a square ball to Diogo Dalot. Dalot looks up, chips it forward. Fred's on the run now. Olsen comes out. It's not into the path of Fred, so it's gobbled up quite easily by the Swede, and then it's cleared away. Chambers for Aston Villa, moving up towards halfway. Augustinsson engages with Fernandes, who nudges the ball out in front of the dugouts down in front of us, and the steward, I always feel sorry for those stewards down in front of us who sit the whole game with their backs to goal looking at the crowd. I wonder if they're allowed to listen to Talksport when they're doing that.
I hope so, Sam.
Olsen clears up over the halfway line, header away by Lindelof, nudged forward by McGinn as the ball is back in Aston Villa's possession. It goes wide to the right. Young takes his time, travels forward, then comes backwards. It goes back into the feet of Konza, who looked a little bit confused by the presence of Martial, who is wearing gloves tonight. You don't need them, but he's wearing them. And it goes all the way back to the 18-yard box. Although saying that, Marc-Andre ter Stegen was wearing a top in Pamplona on Tuesday night, and the Barcelona Twitter feed said he was braving the cold. It was 17 degrees.
Might be trying to lose a little bit of weight.
Here, Fernandes trying to swing the ball into the 18-yard box. It swings through the penalty area and goes back towards the left edge, where now it's with Rashford trying to slalom his way into a crossing position. Back to McTominay, forward towards Fred. It's cut out by Konza and cleared to halfway. But Manchester United just getting the ball to half, getting the ball to do the work for them there, and Aston Villa were alert to the danger.
Well, as poorly as Aston Villa have started the game, Manchester United have not really created too much, have they? And I think Unai Emery will be pretty pleased with that. Coming to Old Trafford, they're organised, they're making themselves really hard to break down, and I think he's probably looking on the side. I'm just watching him now, a round of applause to his players. He'll be thinking to himself, we just need that opportunity. When this game starts opening up, we've got Watkins, we've got Ings up front, we know we've got pace and quality to get in behind Maguire and Lindelof. They've just got to be a little bit patient, bide their time, and their opportunities will come in this game.
56% possession for Manchester United. Aston Villa 44%. No shots. Not no shots on target. No shots. That's where we are right now here at Old Trafford. A prize in round 4 is up for grabs. And last night wasn't that goal laden either, just 15 across 8 games. Aston Villa taking their time overtaking the free kick, and eventually Olsen kicks it clear. Maguire wins an unchallenged header, pummels it into midfield. Kamara couldn't get it under control, wanted handball against Fred, it didn't materialise. The switch is on, Rashford is chasing, this time he's onside, he's taking on Ashley Young, down on the left corner, trying to get into the penalty area. On the overlap is Malacia, who gets the ball into the box, coming in at the far post is Dallo with a header just over the top of the crossbar, took a deflection, that's going to be a corner. Good move by Manchester United. Rashford running down that left-hand side, teasing and tantalising, seeing the overlapping Malacia produce the cross, and then at the other side of the penalty area, coming in at the far post was the other full-back, Diogo Dallo, and he was close to giving Manchester United the lead. Well, closest than we've come so far.
Super move. Great ball from Fernandes over to the left-hand side. Lovely little overlap from Malacia. Very difficult for Dalot to keep that one down. It's bouncing up as he's tried to head that, but when they go through the gears, they look so much better, Manchester United.
Corner to be taken far side. It's a short one, which is eventually given back to Malacia, edge of the area, then to Fred centrally. It seems as if that's been wasted slightly. It wasn't fought out, but now it's back on the left with Anthony Martial skating forward into the box. They released it, but it was pretty limp really, and it was easily cleared away by the Aston Villa defence, and it goes out level with the penalty area on the far side for a throw-in. United have it. Fernandes travelling infield now towards the box, prodded away by a diving Callum Chambers out to the near side, where it's a chance for Rashford to take a quick throw. He's denied that pleasure by Dalot, and then does it anyway, and Dalot came all the way towards him, complained about it, goes back to Maguire. We're back underway again. 25 gone. Talksport. Games throughout the weekend for you live on the Talksport network, and remember, we've got the World Cup coming. Every single game from Qatar will be on the Talksport network. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a very busy tournament. Brilliant way to spend your winter. Make sure you download the app. You'll be able to follow us, follow it wherever you go. Even if you're a steward at Old Trafford, just make sure you hide your headphones under your hat so your supervisor doesn't know. 0-0. Ball is on the left. Goes back infield to Lindelof, and then forward again to Fernandes. Fernandes at walking pace, waits, and then releases the ball looking for Rashford. Rashford scampering forward at pace, but can't get in behind the defence to latch onto the ball. It just ran off the surface and into the arms of Robin Olsen. But that's the plan from Manchester United, isn't it?
Bruno Fernandes is the guy who's looking for that through ball, albeit on 2 occasions it's not came off for him, but I'm just wondering whether Ten Hag's having a look and maybe just dragging Van der Beek over to the right hand side and putting Bruno into that position.
Well, Aston Villa trying to come forward over on the right. The ball by Young is bent round towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's too far in front of Ings, and it's an easy gobble for Dubravka, and it goes up towards halfway. Here is Fred. United's have been pretty good here at Old Trafford recently. They haven't conceded here since September the 8th, when Real Sociedad, La Real, scored from the spot here in the Europa League. It's a long time ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and that's down to the players that have come into the squad. For me, Sam, Martinez being absolutely outstanding, albeit it wasn't fantastic performance from him at the weekend either, but they've just brought something different. They brought a little bit of steel. I don't know if you've noticed in the games that Manchester United have been playing better in the defensive. When they make a challenge, you can see the players all going across and high-fiving each other.
Oh yes,
it's like scoring a goal.
Well, we were fortunate enough to bump into Benny McCarthy. Do you remember Benny McCarthy?
Yeah, I was at Blackburn.
Yeah,
great guy.
It was you actually, wasn't it? You and I who had the chat with him when he said that they had to do that to rebuild the confidence.
I spoke to him outside, yeah, and he said they were very soft when they walked through the door, and it was something they had to change.
Yeah. Here they come again down the right-hand side. Ashley Young moving towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes infield, finds Kamara eventually via Ramsey. Kamara just in front of the centre circle, plays it to the left. Now it's with Aston Villa's Augustinson, and then they've gone backwards rather than forwards, and even their fans are getting irate. And there's quite a few of them here tonight, 6,000 of them away to our right-hand side, taking up part of the scoreboard end as well as the usual away area. That's a little bit dicey from Dalot, and then a little bit dicey from Dubravka under pressure from Ings. Manages to clear and gets it out to the right-hand side. There was just a little ball that went back into the sort of midfield area, and Dalot prodded his foot out at it and went it back towards Dubravka, but it was difficult to deal with.
Yeah, Dubravka won't thank him for that pass back to him, will he? But it all started, Harry Maguire, the pass into Dalot. He wasn't on the ground, he had to try and take a touch, he had a little look to his goalkeeper. And we know what these Aston Villa forward players are like. They're waiting for a little mistake, and they've got the pace to get in behind.
Manchester United just struggling to get hold of the ball over on the far side. Eventually Malacia plays it out, and he thought he was going to play it against Watkins over on the far side, but it's gone out for a throw-in because it went straight out of play. Malacia complaining to his more senior teammates. He's never afraid to do that. Full of personality is Tyrell Malacia, brought in the summer from Feyenoord. Got to the Conference League final last year. Here he is in the left fullback position again after the throw-in goes into Manchester United's possession. Up towards Anthony Martial. I think there was a handball over on the far side, which the referee has eventually spotted. It's going to be a free kick to United, a yard in from the touchline. Still goalless, 29 minutes played. You're listening to Talksport. Leon Bailey, Lucadinho and Jacob Ramsey did the damage at the weekend. Two of those three players not involved tonight. Ramsey was actually brilliant. Played in the game, scored an own goal, scored a goal in the right end and assisted a goal. Only the fourth player in Premier League history to do that in one single game. But he usually enjoys his time against Manchester United.
I think he's a real talent. I certainly do. We've not mentioned him too much this evening. He's got fabulous pace. He knows he's got an eye for goal.
Here he is on the ball again, meandering forward, plays it out to the left, picked up on the left side of the penalty area that Manchester United are defending by Augustinson, whose cross is blocked by Dalot, and it's nudged out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area.
In this break from Aston Villa, they've won the ball back now. Once again, it's coming from a mistake from Manchester United in that central area. As soon as you give the ball away, you can see the Aston Villa players, they just get their head up, they start to move forward, and they're on the attack again.
Kamara, infield it goes to McGinn, and then played against Dalot by Augustinson. All of a sudden, Aston Villa have just started to edge forward towards the Stretford end and cultivate one or two attacks, Mickey. It's their first corner of the game.
Yeah, well, they've got to start to grow into the game, and I think it's been the last 5 minutes has been really sloppy from Manchester United, giving the ball away, which gives the impetus to Aston Villa, who've now started to play through those lines. They're getting the ball into those midfield areas and giving themselves a chance, and they've certainly got one from this corner.
Here is the corner to be taken by Douglas Luiz, who is a danger himself from them. He can score from this area. He is waving his hands, giving some sort of signal to his teammates. They all start to move towards the back post, and then it goes right in at the near post, and it's headed away by McTominay. Dubravka was alert to it, but he tried to do it again, didn't he?
Yeah.
Tried to curl it into that near post.
He's so clever at it. I saw him, he scored a goal at Bolton in the Cup, and I think he tried it the week after in the Premier League, and it got cleared off the line.
Here is Ashley Young trying to volley from 30 yards. It's blocked by McTominay, spills out to the near side, the left. Manchester United trying to defend it. Fernandes wafts it away, but only as far as Douglas Luiz. And the first bit of sustained pressure from the visitors tonight at Old Trafford. Aston Villa, 31 on the clock. Ball pinged from right to left by Aston Villa up towards Ings, who takes it beautifully out of the sky, gets to the byline, plays it against Dalot, wins another corner. They're on the up.
Great play from Danny Ings, lovely ball from Ashley Young, diagonal right to left. What a touch from Danny Ings, and then he's just got to work it onto his left foot. Great defending in the end, I have to say, from Diego Dalot. But just having a look at this corner again, Sam, he does it every single week or every time he's in the team, and it's such a threat. He's such a quality at it.
Yeah. He did very well there, Scott McTominay, to get back and head that away. And he's been tasked once again with just keeping a little bit of an eye here on where that ball is going to be floated. Douglas Luiz has lost the ball, wants one to be able to take this corner kick. Eventually one is forthcoming, and it's ready to be centred by Douglas Luiz, the Brazilian. Left hand in the air this time, so maybe a slightly different variation on the theme. It's back in towards the centre of the goal, headed away by McTominay again, comes back out to Young, who strikes it towards the far corner. But it was always veering away from the left hand upright, and it fizzes behind into the Stretford end and out rather harmlessly for a goal kick. But the idea was right from Ashley Young, and we have seen him hit them from there before. He scored a goal pretty similar to that against Nottingham Forest earlier in the season.
Yeah, he did. And they've got it off to a tee, that corner, because Manchester United have to get everybody towards their goal line to clear it. They leave that freedom for somebody just standing on the edge of the D of the 18-yard box. Ashley Young being there this occasion, just needed to keep a little bit lower, but we know he's got the quality from outside the 18-yard area.
33 on the clock. This is Talksport live at Old Trafford on a mild night in Manchester, where we're watching Manchester United for the first time in the Carabao Cup this season against an Aston Villa team who came through a tie at the University of Bolton Stadium earlier in the season. They won by 4 goals to 1. Danny Ings scored a couple of goals that day. He's down getting some of the treatment now because he's got a little whack from a collision. I think it was with Lindelof, was it, over on the far side? And another pause in play is going to play into the hands of Unai Emery and his team, really. They're disrupting the game quite well.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Erik ten Hag has just now pulled Danny van der Beek across to the side, maybe to just give him a different position, because I think he's been isolated just in behind the forward players from United. I wonder if he's just saying to maybe just drift over to the left or the right hand side, just to give you some space and time to get yourself involved in the game a little bit more, because at the minute it's passing him by.
It is. Manchester United get the ball very quickly from the centre of the pitch out towards the left. It goes out for a throw-in. Martial goes down very theatrically in the left wing position, and it's cleared by Aston Villa. Chested down by McTominay, taken to the right hand side, and then there was a little clattering through the back of I think it was Boubacar Kamara, who was just flicked with the arm by Scott McTominay, and a free kick is going to be given just 10 yards short of the halfway line.
Well, I mean, Scott McTominay's done ever so well. He's chested the ball down, he's played it to his full-back, he's got his back to play as he makes contact with Kamara here. Whether he knows he's coming or not, he probably does. And it's his arms actually swayed across.
That's not nice, is it?
Does he get away with that because he's got his back towards the player, Sam? Is that the only reason? I mean, he's flung his arm into Kamara's face. Well,
no VAR, as we mentioned, as Ramsey tries to break down into the right wing position. The ball is cleared by Lindelof, by Maguire, and puts it out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side. Still 0-0. You're listening to Talksport. Tomorrow, White and Jordan have got Stuart Pearce with them at 10 o'clock. Make sure you tune into that. You can watch it on YouTube as well, on the official Talksport channel. Quite a few of our shows streaming now live on YouTube and Facebook. Ball cleared away by Lindelof from the throw-in right side. Aston Villa still coming forward with Kamara. They've had a better end to the first half than they did at the beginning, Aston Villa, that is for sure, but neither of these two teams have been particularly good, and there's been a lot of changes, yes, 7, but both these two teams are teams that would be considered reasonably strong even at this stage of the season.
I think you also said, Sam, that you were more convinced with this starting 11 from Manchester United than the weekend's one, and I kind of agree with you, but this back line of United, it doesn't fill me with confidence at all.
Ball is down the right hand side, flicks into the edge of the penalty area. It's headed away by Dallow and then helped forward by Augustinson. He didn't have the poise to nudge it into the path of John McGinn. If he had done, there might have been trouble for Manchester United, who quickly released the ball forward looking for Fernandes. Callum Chambers has to judge it correctly and does. Rises, prods it away. Van der Beek tries to win it, can't do so. Comes off McGinn. It's a Manchester United throw in front of the dugouts. I wonder what Erik ten Hag did say to Donny van der Beek. Maybe up the energy a little bit, get in front of some of the centre halves. He was playing a little bit too passively, I think. I say passively, he was running around and expending energy, but he wasn't really affecting the game.
If you're in a position like that, you have to influence the football match at some point, and he's not doing that.
Oh, that's a poor ball by Chambers, across the face of his own goal, straight to Rashford, who dives through the centre, picks his way through to McTominay on the edge of the box. It's sent left. Fred hitting hope into the box now, looking for Fernandes. Poor ball forward, drifts out of play, and that passage of play probably sums up the game as a whole so far, Nicky Gray.
What was Erik ten Hag saying to his players after the game? It's unacceptable. Well, over the last 10 minutes, the performance that Manchester United are putting in is unacceptable. Simple little passes out to the left-hand side, a simple ball into the area. You can't get that wrong. Malaysia had a chance to just float a ball into the area. It goes out of play.
Here they come again. It's Martial into Fernandes, a back heel which was imprecise. Needed a little bit more poise from Bruno Fernandes. He tried to nudge it back towards Rashford, didn't work. And it was helped back towards the goalkeeper Robin Olsen by Boubacar Kamara. Poor from Villa again. Luiz giving it away in central midfield. Fred forward. Van der Beek, not a great ball into Fernandes. Kamara wins it back, but he's too handsy. Free kick. And the free kick is given 12 yards outside the box, a shade left of centre.
You're right, it wasn't a nice ball into Bruno Fernandes. He had two Aston Villa players around him. Just before that, Fred basically done what we've been speaking about. He won the ball back for his team. He played a simple ball to one of his teammates, and that's job done for me. Then you leave it to the forward players, the ones with that little bit of guile, who can see a pass. It goes into Fernandes, but Aston Villa, as I mentioned before, it's not been a brilliant performance. They've not been asked enough questions from me at the back. Nowhere near.
Well, free kick for Manchester United, 39 minutes on the clock. Rashford's going to take this, having scored 2 in his last 4 games, the top scorer of this campaign. He places the ball down 25 yards from goal, hits it knuckleball style right into the wall. Cleared away by Aston Villa. Back towards the halfway line it goes. Wider to the left and on to Fred. Fred 6 yards in from the left touchline. Hoists the ball into the box. McTominay with a header across the face of goal. An offside flag is already up. And that passage of play is coming to an end.
Well, it looks like Scott McTominay's in an offside position here as that ball comes into the box, and he's the furthest player out on the right-hand side. As a player, Sam, you have to know that that ball's coming into the area. You stay on side until that ball is played. It's a floaty pass. It's not like he's running in behind anybody. And I think it sums up the last 10 or 15 minutes we've seen in this game. There's too many errors in the football game.
Well, November was a tricky month for Manchester United last season. Just one narrow win from 5 fixtures. Do you want to know who that was against? Last November, they won 1 game from 5 fixtures. It was a narrow win. They started November in difficult form this year.
Was it Aston Villa?
No, it was Unai Emery's Villarreal.
Wow.
Ball is out over on the far side. And it's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa here after Scott McTominay again has gone in with his arm on Ashley Young. Now, I think that both those 2 incidences might have been considered by VAR. He certainly should have been booked for them both.
The first one, without a doubt, and I think he might have got away with it just because he had his back towards the player Canberra when he made contact. But he's got that streak in him, hasn't he, McTominay?
Here is oh dear, the free kick's been taken. There was a push on the edge of the box. Before it even got to the edge of the box, there was a foul by Douglas Luiz, and Manchester United got a free kick. I mean, any danger of a football match breaking out here?
Yeah, exactly. When I said the last 15 minutes, it's just been very, very scrappy. I mean, you know, we need a little bit of physicality in a game of football, but it seems to have gone out of this game because every single time there's contact with either player, whether it's from a Villa side or a Manchester United side, they are feigning injury, they're going to ground, and there's no flow to the game at all.
That was quite funny, actually, watching Fernandes basically feint a bit of contact between him and Douglas Luiz so that he could win a free kick. I mean, it was Oscar-winning stuff. Here is Malacia up to Martial. He's gone down. Referee's had enough now. Says play on. It goes out wide to the right. Now Fernandes brings it down. Moves it up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Dalot out towards his right side. Can he produce a cross? Oh dear. He went to hit it with his right foot. It hit his left and went behind and away for a goal kick. Listen, there could be a case here that some of these players are thinking about the World Cup already. Could that be the case? Could that be the case?
Possibly.
Maybe that's the case.
Do not want to pick up an injury. It's got to be in the back of players' minds. I think this is questions being asked on Talksport quite a lot today, Simon, from ex-players.
Well, I did the Barcelona game earlier in the week, and it wasn't at full tilt. The Real Madrid game, if you saw it on Monday night, they lost to Rayo Vallecano, who have actually done very well this season. They frustrated Barca earlier in the season, but actually, yeah, there was a little bit of, there has been a couple of sort of missing in action performances across, you know, the top leagues with some of the big players.
Well, is there a case, or was there a case before this World Cup of cancelling the games before the World Cup?
Here is Martial getting behind, offside flag is up. And I also wonder whether or not, especially with the offsides, the players are actually getting frustrated because they're not used to this system. The system that they're playing tonight is, as soon as they are considered to be the tiniest bit offside, the linesman is flagging. Now, in the Premier League, Martial would have been allowed to continue there and look to try and put that in the net, and then they would have gone back and reviewed it. So, I mean, he's being pulled up as he touches the ball. He's getting frustrated by that. That's happened a couple of times tonight. But it is a change of system, a shift in approach, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the way it should be. Well, as I mentioned before, I think the officials have to do their job. You know, they've got to be in line with the players. It's something that they've done for many, many years. And I think that VAR has taken that away from them. But the players, you're right, they react to it. And it's a bit of a bizarre one, isn't it? Because we can go back 4 or 5 seconds. They might have stuck the ball in the back of the net. But unfortunately, Martial's finding out a little bit too early in this game. And, you know, momentum just stopped straight away. And that's where the frustration is. But Sam, the quality on show in the last 20 minutes of this first half has been not far short of shambolic. It is awful from both sides.
0-0. Here is Dallo into Fred out towards the left-hand side. There's entertainment though, Mickey. Me and you are here.
Well, exactly, yeah, and I hope people listening are enjoying it, but we have to tell the truth when we're doing the commentary and from what's in front of us. And it is so poor from two sides that Manchester United over the last couple of months, you know, full of confidence, albeit lost at the weekend. But Aston Villa, new manager, still trying to impress them, by the way, albeit they've won their first game. But from what I'm seeing in front of me, look, both sides have made 7 changes. It shouldn't upset the flow of the football as much as what we've seen so far.
Yellow card for Harry Maguire for a foul on halfway as we reach the last minute of the first half. Villa, we knew they're not to be trusted this season. It's been an undulation of serious dips with a few big highs all campaign. The Brentford and Manchester United results are examples of that. Free kick over on the far side. Ramsey's made a challenge on Malacia, then he's got up, challenged him again. Then Malacia eventually has gone to ground genuinely because he had his feet taken. It is a free kick over on the far side, rightly awarded, and it is an opportunity right at the end of the first half for Manchester United to put a bit of polish on what so far has been a very dull 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think Ramsey just left his foot there, didn't he, and caught his ankle, Malacia's ankle, as he was trying to move away with the ball. It was a foul, and it gives United a chance from a wide free kick to put the ball into the area, and let's hope with a bit of quality.
The referee has been generous. Only 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. It's Fernandes, right-footed, in towards the near post. It's caused problems for Olsen and punched away towards the halfway line. Fred brings it out of the sky, sends it back towards the goalkeeper, clips it over the top to Bravka, looking for the run of Fernandes, but it's away by Ashley Young. Bounces on halfway for Malacia. He's always seems to be pretty much enjoying himself, Malacia, doesn't he? He's always got a smile on his face and a big personality. He's a joy to watch.
It's nice to see, isn't it? He came to the Premier League. He's probably played more than he maybe expected to this season, but you're right. I always remember the game against Salah. I mean, he man-marked him out of the game. He was absolutely outstanding.
Ball switch from left to right, and it's picked up by Rashford. And then a foul on Dallo is given against John McGinn just at the end of this first half. We've got about 10 seconds to go before we played the injury time. It was late from John McGinn, and it was a bit of a stupid challenge to make at this juncture, really. I mean, not that the quality from the wide areas, the delivery into the box hasn't been great anyway, but I mean, it was a bit of a silly thing to do when he wasn't going anywhere. Diogo Dallo. McGinn just, I think, getting a little bit too eager.
Well, still trying to impress his new manager. Sam, I should know this, beg your pardon, but who's captain for Aston Villa tonight? Is it not McGinn?
It is John McGinn. Ball played forward by Fernandes. And all I can say to you is, it was in the wide right position. It was 10 yards from the halfway line. There was a line set up, a high line from Aston Villa. We were expecting the ball to be curled in behind it for someone to attack. He went for goal, miskicked it. It went straight into the arms of Robin Olsen. That probably sums up the first 45 minutes. Listen, these two played each other 4 days ago. It was a completely different game, but sometimes familiarity can breed contempt. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Well, it is a repeat of the 50th League Cup final, and Manchester United had to come from behind in that game to win the trophy after James Milner had put Villa in front. Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney's on the breakfast show tomorrow, sealing victory for Sir Alex Ferguson's team. These two have played each other a lot in League Cup history, and often the games between the two, all told, are usually high scoring affairs. And because of the format of the competition, usually as it gets towards its conclusion, things liven up because the threat of penalties is always looming. No changes at half-time for either Aston Villa or Manchester United, the home team, who have Dubravka in goal, Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Malacia the back four. McTominay sitting as the holding midfield player with Fernandes, Van der Beek and Fred and Rashford behind Anthony Martial in attack. For Aston Villa, who are in blue shirts and claret shorts, Olsen is the goalkeeper, Augustinsson, Konza, Chambers and Young. Then Kamara, Douglas, Luiz and McGinn, Ramsey, Ings and Watkins. And Aston Villa have progressed down the touchline well enough to earn a throw-in deep by the corner flag at the start of this second half. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end in their red shirts and white shorts, and Aston Villa attacking the scoreboard end, the end in which their supporters have swollen in number in comparison to a usual away game at Old Trafford, spilling out into at least half of the scoreboard end tonight, and to make one hell of a noise whenever they get on the front foot, but that hasn't happened very often.
And they've come out in the second half and they've improved a little bit, Sam, working the ball really well down the right hand side on a couple of occasions, albeit it came to nothing. But they just have to tidy up the passing, and when you get a chance to break forward, do it in numbers.
Well, Ramsey spotted the run of Watkins, and he's in behind Maguire here and into the box and facing up Dubravka. He's chipped him and put it into the net, and now they're making some noise, the Aston Villa supporters. Ollie Watkins scores on the breakaway. It's a brilliantly well taken goal from Ollie Watkins, and Manchester United's Old Trafford 2-month-long resistance is broken. Finally they've been pierced, and Ollie Watkins has done it. A breakaway with the ball over the top, beautifully played by Ramsey. They ran down the left channel, and Watkins enticed the goalkeeper to Dubravka, chipped him and makes it 1-0.
Well, I don't understand. The Manchester United players are surrounding the referee here, David Coote, and I think they're asking for an offside. Well, Victor Lindelof is keeping everybody on side. I said Aston Villa had started the second half on the front foot. They win the ball back, they're asking for a handball in the build-up to it, Sam. It's not going to be given now. We know that there's no VAR. But Ollie Watkins, as I've said all night, there's a chance for him to get in behind these two centre-halves. He takes that chance of running forward, stays on side. It's a lovely ball play through to him from Ramsey. Takes a couple of touches. He has a look at Dubravka, who tries to make himself big and just dinks it over the top of him and puts that ball into the back of the net. Now, if Erik ten Hag was going to make changes at half-time, with 3 minutes into the second half, he has to be thinking about doing it now.
Well, Manchester United are complaining about a handball against Boubacar Kamara. At the other end, Fernandes is getting in behind himself and trying to square it towards Martial on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's an instantaneous response right from the kick-off from Manchester United. Not behind for long. Wow, what a quick break to seek retribution for their goal being passed for the first time since September the 8th. Anthony Martial back in the team, scores to make it 1-1 just mere seconds after Unai Emery saw Ollie Watkins give Aston Villa the lead.
Well, Unai Emery, he sniggered unto himself in that technical area because they've held on to the lead for about 30 seconds. And isn't it incredible, isn't it, when some of your players start to take a risk and they show a little bit of confidence, things can start happening for your side. Fernandes finds himself in acres of space on that right-hand side. He's got a simple pass across the 6-yard area, and Martial just to slot the ball into the back of the net.
Here come Aston Villa again down the left-hand side. McGinn looking for Ramsey, who's in the box, is headed away. There's a waft of sulphur in the air because of the pyrotechnics that went off in the Aston Villa end after their goal. But certainly the players were caught in a bit of a purple haze because Manchester United went right up the other end and scored very quickly, and now it's 1-1. And you wait all day for a goal to come along, and then two come along at once, Mickey.
Well, Hugh was saying at half-time, if a game ever needed a goal, it was this one. Well, in the space of 30 seconds, we've had two. And the game sprung to life. There's atmosphere in the stadium, which we never heard in the first 45 minutes. Look, I still think there's going to be mistakes in this game, Sam. I just think it's glittered with him all over the place.
I mean, that high line that Aston Villa have been playing all day was their undoing there, wasn't it? Because the ball was tossed down the right side by Manchester United. Fernandes got in behind the defence. He had room to run into. Martial galloped into the centre and was there for a simple square pass.
Pep Guardiola came out with something really interesting a couple of weeks ago when he said, if I know some of my players are not at it because they're going to the World Cup, he said I could smell it. And I just wonder whether both managers have probably thought that themselves, whether they've thought and they've smelt these players weren't up for the tie tonight.
Not many going to the World Cup in the Aston Villa ranks, that's for sure. Ball is out over on the far side. Augustinson trying to stride forward to get towards the edge of the penalty area. He tucks it towards the left and it's collected now by Watkins. Now it's Douglas Luiz taking on Fernandes, who wrestles the ball. They scrap for it. It breaks to Watkins once more, and they're still inside Manchester United's half of the field. And now Douglas Luiz and Bruno Fernandes are squaring up to one another. They went head to head. They had an initial conversation, then Douglas Luiz sort of leant down and put his forehead into Bruno Fernandes. Douglas Luiz actually was sent off and had a red card rescinded recently after doing just that to Mitrovic, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got previous. Bruno Fernandes, I don't know where this has come from him over the last season and a half, but it's growing into his game where he's showing his frustration. He waves his arms around a lot more than he used to when he walked through the door. I want to see the quality from Bruno Fernandes that we know that he's got, like he's just shown for the pass across to Anthony Martial. I know the balls are tangled and there's a load of legs down at the bottom. Look, Luiz has a little word with Fernandes as he's getting back to his feet. I don't want to see that side. I want to see the quality what both players have got.
Well, both have got yellow cards as a result of it from David Coote, and it remains 1-1. Manchester United Aston Villa live on Talksport. 53 gone, and it's a poor pass across the face of his own goal in towards Rashford, looking for Martial. Olsen comes out and gets it, but Olsen's pass across towards Ezri Konsa was suicidal, wasn't it?
You can't do it. You just can't do it. If you're going to make a pass like that, you've got to be 100% certain that it's going to find its target. And if it doesn't, this forward line of Manchester United, with the pace and the quality that they've got, they're going to punish you.
Manchester United on the attack again. Rashford trying to get away from Young. Does get away from Young. Moves towards the edge of the area. Right-footed shot. Takes a deflection into the air. Goes behind. It's out for a corner. Ashley Young's getting a yellow card.
Yes.
Referee did well to play the advantage there.
He did. Ashley Young, I think he knew that Marcus Rashford had got the wrong side of him. He may be thinking to himself, we're in trouble here. He's taken one for the team.
Yellow card for Ashley Young. It's still 1-1. 2 goals in quick succession from first Watkins, then from Anthony Martial at the other end, who livened up the game, livened up proceedings here at Old Trafford. Corner to be taken far side, right-footed, deep towards the far post. It's come all the way through to Malacia. He's then misjudged it. It's gone bouncing past him, and then back towards the middle of the Aston Villa half. Fred into Dallow. Dallow now moving forward, clips the ball towards the edge of the box. It's going to be away by McGinn. A good strong header back by Chambers in the end. McGinn tries to win a tackle with Maguire, who gets there ahead of him, and then Fred on the edge of the centre circle looks to turn. He looks up. Where's the movement? Look at Malacia on this near side. So much room for him. The ball didn't come his way. It took so long for him to be picked out, and when he did, Jacob Ramsey had come to the rescue for Aston Villa. Maguire under so much pressure gives the ball away. It's into Boubacar Kamara, back to the right. Ramsey looking for Watkins. It's a good ball, nudges it back towards Ings, wide to the left, and John McGinn tried to thread it through to Watkins, and it was easily cleared by Manchester United. A little bit too difficult, that pass from John McGinn. They needed a little bit more wit, invention and creativity there, Aston Villa, when they got the ball on the edge of the box. And Maguire's apologised for his mistake. Malacia's just made another, and a free kick has been given on this near side to Aston Villa, 6 yards in from the touchline. But I mean, it's like a tornado compared to a slight breeze, isn't it? The difference between the first half and this second.
Absolutely. It's end to end. We're seeing better football. Yeah, there's still mistakes. And you said that Harry Maguire was under pressure there, Sam. I don't actually think he was. I thought it was his first touch. He just let it get away from him a little bit. It was kind of what you say in training, touch and tackle with his second touch. You have to try and keep it neat and tidy next to you, certainly if you're a centre-half.
Douglas Luiz trying to play the ball down the right side, looking to try and feed the run of Watkins. It was a quick, short one down that right touchline. Didn't work out for Aston Villa, and Manchester United have got the ball back. 2 changes incoming from Aston Villa, although Tyrone Mings has just sat down again, but Emi Buendia is about to come on. He's just getting readied by the Aston Villa coaching staff as the ball is cleared upfield by McTominay, and Fred trying to reach it, and again they take advantage of that high line by Aston Villa. Every time they're trying to get it in behind, down the sides or over the top, trying to get the ball to one of their speedsters. It hasn't really come off apart from the goal, but when it does, Villa are in trouble.
That's their outlet ball, and it's a good ball. You just need better quality from whoever plays it from the back, whether it's Lindelof, Dalot or Maguire, to whoever's making that run down the left hand side, because there's an opening there. There's a 1v1 situation because of that high line, and if the first touch and the diagonal pass is better, that's the opportunity for Manchester United to punish Aston Villa.
Aston Villa are now readying a couple of those extra substitutions. It does look like Leon Bailey is getting ready as well now. Tyrone Mings has come back out, and it looks like he's getting his last few orders. Big changes incoming for Aston Villa, who took the lead but are now pegged back by Manchester United. It's 1-1 with 57 on the clock, live on Talksport. Tomorrow morning, breakfast show with Alan Brazil's got Wayne Rooney assessing the England squad. Stuart Pearce is with Jim White and Simon Jordan tomorrow from 10. And then throughout the course of the weekend, loads of live football for you here on the Talksport network. Fred from McTominay to Martial to Fred. Fred is fouled on the edge of the centre circle by Kamara. That's going to be a free kick just left the centre circle inside Aston Villa territory.
Yeah, excellent play from Lindelof first and foremost with the header. Fantastic from McTominay. Played into Fred round the corner from Martial, but he just needed to get his head up. There was a run to the left from Rashford, and then Fernandes over on that right hand side. If he'd have just played it first time, but he delayed on it again and had a touch and he was caught, that was given Manchester United keep possession, but the movement is so much better in the second 45 minutes.
Birmingham Sunderland is live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Here is Martial combining with Fred and Van der Beek, and then running into an offside position away to our left. We've got loads of live commentary for you over the course of Saturday. Game day exclusive starts at 11 o'clock. Manchester City versus Brentford. Tottenham leads straight afterwards at 2:30, plus all the goals as they go in from the EFL. 5:30, the phone-in with Jamie and Gabby at Bonlahor, and then Saturday night, 7:30, Arsenal against Wolves. Kicks off at 7:45 with Chris Iwelumo and Clive Tilsley. 2 changes, Danny Ings is off, and so is Jacob Ramsey, and Tyrone Mings and Leon Bailey are coming on. And Leon Bailey obviously caused Manchester United all sorts of problems at the weekend, playing in a more central position.
He did, and he got that early goal from his movement, Leon Bailey, so he'll be ready for this one, there's no doubt about it. And he changes centre half.
Ezri Konza is coming off and Mings going on, and Wendy are already on the pitch. Of course, Tyrone Mings might have been just glancing at his iPhone earlier on today. Any chance? No? Okay. I'll go on holiday. Because it wasn't that long ago that he was in the England squad. I'm sure he would have been.
He did well. I mean, was it the Euros he started?
Yeah.
The first two or three games, and then Harry Maguire came into the side, but he never let anybody down.
Here is McTominay out towards the wide right position. Diego Dalot does let himself down there with a poor touch. It goes out of play, and a quick throw from Aston Villa from the left side into the centre of the United half. Leon Bailey, the Jamaican, trying to work it out wide. He's found Augustinson, got it back again. He looks lively and sprightly, Leon Bailey, as he often does. He just hasn't been able to really stay fit long enough for Aston Villa. He's looking to get in behind McTominay, and he might get there ahead of Dalot, who's just got to cross him and managed to clear. McTominay under pressure, plays it to Lindelof away, and then Rashford, poor touch. Garnacho about to come on for Manchester United. Hold on a second, they might have changed their mind here. Elanga also getting stripped, Eriksen getting some instruction as well, but Erik Ten Hag just told Alejandro Garnacho just to go and stand next to Christian Eriksen for a second. I think the key substitution here is going to be the Dane.
I just wonder who they're going to take off, Sam. There's going to be the two changes.
Here is Ashley Young for Aston Villa, bounding down the right-hand side. He gets into the penalty area, produces a lovely cross towards the far post, and it's in off Dalot. Bailey with the header back across the face of goal. It's clipped Diogo Dalot, and it's gone into the net. It's an own goal from Diogo Dalot, and Aston Villa have retaken the lead. Manchester United hadn't conceded a goal for 2 months here. They've conceded 2 in 15 minutes at the start of the second half, and they've scored one for Aston Villa themselves. Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 2.
You can't believe your eyes sometimes when you see goals and finding the way into the back of the net. There's no challenge on Ashley Young. He runs 60 yards into the opposition's half. There's no challenge from McTominay or Lindelof. He puts it to the back stick. It's kind of headed back towards the 6-yard area, and Dalot's got himself into a position where he's half looking at the ball, he's half looking at his own goal, his body position's not right. He sticks out a right leg, hoping that the ball's going to go out of play. It comes off his shin. It gives Dubravka absolutely no chance in that Manchester United goal. It's just a shambles. It really is. And 2 minutes before that, Sam, there was no pressure on Dalot. The ball was played out to him to the right-hand side. He had a look up before the ball actually came to him, then rolls over the top of his foot and goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw. Now, we talk about there being goals in the second half, and we've had 3 now, and thank goodness we've had those. But those mistakes are still there for everybody to see.
Garnacho, Eriksen and Elanga on, Martial, Fred and Van der Beek off. Manchester United make immediate changes to try and rectify the situation they were trying to change just before that goal went in. That's not great for Manchester United. Diogo Dalot scoring an own goal, and he just got confused where the ball was. He just stuck out a foot, didn't he? It was an instinctive reaction as it came back across the face of goal.
Well, you can get your body position right, Sam, initially. You know, he's not really looking at the player full on to say, right, this ball's not going to go by me. He was hoping that the ball was going to maybe ricochet off him, or Bailey wasn't going to win the first header. And after he'd won that, that's when he started to panic a little bit and just stuck out a right leg.
Fernandes playing the ball into open space down the right side for Manchester United to attack. No one was chasing it. Elanga is out there on the right, Garnacho out on the left. Manchester United went out at this stage last season to West Ham United. Might be more claret spilt tonight. Claret and blue of West Ham knocking them out 12 months ago, and the light blue and claret of Aston Villa threatening to do the same. You're listening to Talksport. It's 2-1 to Aston Villa. Here is Douglas Luiz, room to manoeuvre here. He's played it down the left. Bailey's on the chase again, sprinting forward at rapid pace, trying to get to the edge of the 18-yard box, but out comes Dubravka and gobbles it up.
They brought players on to influence the game, Sam, Aston Villa, and they've had an impact already. You think about the header back from Bailey, who looks as if he's at it tonight, lively.
Rashford in behind, over the top, trying to get behind Chambers, gets the right-footed shot towards the near post and blasts it wide. Now, if that had been VAR time, that might have been offside, but the referee and the assistant kept the flag down over on the far touchline. Rashford was allowed to escape. Again, that vulnerability from Aston Villa was the moment in behind. I think he might have been onside, actually.
He's onside, but it's exciting, Sam, isn't it? Because we're asking a question here, was he on or was he off? Well, if the linesman's not putting his flag up, then Marcus Rashford has got to stick that in the back of the net.
He didn't. He stuck it into the side netting. He might have looked at a glance of the outside of the post, but it was a great chance, and that's where Manchester United have got their joy tonight. It's 4-4-2 now for Unai Emery and Aston Villa, with Bailey and Watkins up front, and Kamara and Luiz in the middle of the park. McGinn and Buendia slightly wider. Here's Garnacho getting the better of McGinn, travelling infield midway inside the Villa territory. Across he goes to Fernandes, and then it's back to McTominay, wider still onto Elanga, and then Fernandes, right angle of the penalty area, a low ball into the near post, blocked behind and away by Mings, and it's out for a corner. for Manchester United, who trail by 2-1.
Crisp movement, Garnacho done ever so well, little nutmeg, but how they moved it across from left to right, giving Fernandes the chance to put that ball into the box quicker.
Here is the short corner taken to Christian Eriksen, still waiting for his first Manchester United goal. Malacia is engaged and has to go all the way back to Dubravka. Not great from Manchester United, who wasted that set piece. They're now back on their halfway line. They're back with their goalkeeper, who's been given a hospital pass, and then he reacts just before Kamara can close him down. And Manchester United have given the ball away again, and Maguire's been caught in possession, and now Watkins is steaming down the right. He's got Bailey at the far post, who wanted it earlier. Watkins travelling to the edge of the box, a right-footed drive, and Bailey is absolutely furious about the fact that he didn't release that when he first picked up possession on the right-hand side. But Harry Maguire, a little bit fortunate there to get away with that one.
I just wonder whether Gareth Southgate's here tonight, watching this game. It'd be interesting to find out what he thinks of the players that are going to be going on that plane. Well, the one who's just made the mistake, Harry Maguire, who I was talking up beforehand, if they were going to play 5 at the back, he would be in my starting 11. But can you trust somebody, Sam, who's had so little game time?
I mean, it's a great question, and it's one that we will only learn in 10 days' time when the team is announced for the Iran game. Here is Eriksen down the left-hand side, getting towards the edge of the box. It might cause a Rashford on the edge of the area. He skips past one challenge, gets into the box, and rifles the ball in. Brilliant from Marcus Rashford. The chance should have gone. The ball broke down the left for Eriksen. He poked it across Chambers. Mings had a nibble. Chambers had a second nibble. Marcus Rashford jumped over both hurdles, scrambled the ball in at the near post, and celebrates his recall to the England squad with an equalising goal for Manchester United in a cup tie that has burst into life in this second half. Manchester United 2, Villa 2.
Well, I mean, this game is unbelievable. It's just sprung to life, hasn't it? And the goals seem to be coming from mistakes from the opposition giving the ball away, and then the opposition are then pouncing on it, breaking forward, scoring goals. Marcus Rashford does brilliant there, I have to say. The challenge came in from Mings. I mean, they're on the break here yet again, was going to go out for a throw. Mings goes to ground and he skips by him, and he's got to scoop his right foot around it, and it's a brilliant finish from a man who's scoring goals this season for Manchester United.
Well, Gareth Southgate isn't here. He did say in the Talksport interview earlier on today with Faye Carruthers and Danny Mills that he was going to stay at home and reduce the risk of COVID, but he'll be delighted to see that Marcus Rashford has an 8th goal of the season, and the way he took it as well, because it was very much, I mean, he's moved into that central striker role since Martial went off the pitch, and actually most of the goals that he's scored this season have come when he's playing on the left-hand side, but he scored that goal from a central position, and he did brilliantly, because he hurdled Chambers and Mings, who were all having a nibble at him, and he managed to keep his footing well enough to pop that into the Stretford end.
It was brilliant. Tenacious, showed a lot of desire to get on the end of it, kept his run going, hoped for a little mistake, it came his way, and to finish it the way he did. And it wasn't easy, Sam, was it? You know, great first touch away from the defender, and then to beat the goalkeeper after that.
Garnacho down the left for Manchester United, who have come from behind twice. It's 2-2. Garnacho into the box, gets at Young, and Young then gets back at him. He comes back again, and then Rashford tries to win it. Young shows his experience and keeps hold of the ball. Manchester United trying to keep Villa pinned inside their own half here. Fernandes has done that successfully, gets the return from Rashford. He's down the left side of the 6-yard box, tries to put it into the top corner, and balloons it straight across the face of goal. He was inaccurate in his final delivery there. Bruno Fernandes, what a chance that was to make it 3-2.
It was strange that balls have ended up going out for a throw-in, Sam. I was just wondering whether it hit the post or the crossbar. I don't think it did. But again, Aston Villa this time, their own culprits, giving the ball away. Lovely little reverse pass from Rashford. Fernandes trying to play the ball across the area. I don't think it did come off the post. Just went across the area. He's just got his cross completely wrong.
I think it came off of Robin Olsen's face. I think it glanced Robin Olsen's face and then went up into the air and went out for a thrown over on the far side.
But where was this? Where was this in the first half? You know, that desire to try and get on the end of things and make something happen. Be the game changer for your team. It takes 45 minutes for the manager to walk in the dressing room and ask for your reaction from your players. You shouldn't have to do that.
Ollie Watkins has got a bit of an issue here, and there is a suggestion they're going to make another change, Aston Villa. I don't know if Watkins is going to be able to continue. They're still giving him some treatment over on the far side. He's back on his feet again. We'll see what happens with him. But they are going to ready 2 more substitutes. One of them is Matt Cash, and the other one is Luca Digne. So I wonder whether or not they're going to change the fullbacks now. And maybe Watkins is going to be okay. The ball is out over on the far side. It's 2-2, 20 minutes to go. Remember, if it finishes like this, then we will have extra... No, we won't. We'll just have penalties. Yeah, no one wants extra time at this stage of the season, not with the World Cup looming, that's for sure. Here is Malacia trying to charge forward. It's cut out by McGinn and then swung forward. Well done to Malacia, who got back and put the challenge in. It saw the ball spooned over towards the far side. Yeah, just straight to penalties like it was last night on many occasions, and Gillingham, the big winners from the penalty shootouts last night. They'll be in the round 4 draw, which happens at the conclusion of this game. Forward by Malacia upfield. Garnacho trying to run in behind. Callum Chambers looks like he's going to get there this time. He sends it back to Olsen. Garnacho tries to close down Olsen, and Olsen just manages to body swerve away from him.
Yeah, it's good play from the goalkeeper in the end, wasn't it? When you got somebody homing down on you, and Garnacho, a lot of pace. He was just trying to make the goalkeeper make a decision, and he made the right one.
Well, Manchester United have got a lot of players that have been named in the World Cup squads. Anthony, one of those 4 United players named in the Brazil squad for the World Cup, along with Fred, Casemiro. Alex Telles is on loan at Sevilla. England naming 3 United players today as well. Rashford, Shaw, Maguire. Here's Bailey trying to tease the ball in at the far side. Cuts in on his right foot, then goes back outside on his left and looks to bend the ball into the far corner. Didn't catch it at all well. A lot of players going away. Fernandes, Ronaldo, Dalot, the Portuguese squad. So they won't be able to do much work during the intervening period.
Saw a lovely video. I think it was Anthony with his wife or partner in tears, sat on his sofa when I think it was announced, Sam, that he got himself into the Brazilian squad.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
He's got a hip injury at the moment, which is why he hasn't been available tonight. And the Brazil team doctor revealing that yesterday. Here is McTominay as Manchester United play out from the back. Eriksen, another one who's going to be going to the World Cup. Up towards Malacia. Malacia bending it round to Garnacho. Garnacho takes it down the left touchline. He runs at Ashley Young. He gets to the edge of the area, flips it into Rashford. Rashford trying to take it through the legs of the defender and does so successfully. And it's brushed off the ball by Young. Then Young manages to get it clear. Comes back to McTominay. McTominay into Fernandes. Down the right it goes for Elanga. Elanga trying to get the ball back across the face of goal, but he hits the roof of the net with his centre from the right side, and it goes out in the way for a goal kick substitution. Off comes Ashley Young, on comes Matty Cash.
Well, just going back to that move for Manchester United, it was absolutely fantastic from Marcus Rashford in a tight area, in the 18-yard area, little nutmeg, nearly fell to his left foot, just went away from it a little bit. But this man who's walking off the field now, the ex-Manchester United player, Ashley Young,
getting a great reception.
He is, and he deserves it. He's had a very good game tonight, involved in the first goal. Brilliant cross to Bailey.
Not bad for 37.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
He's ageing like you, Mickey.
Hope he doesn't go as grey as me.
He shaves his hair, he's alright. No one will know if he does or he doesn't. Here is McTominay over on the far side. Manchester United giving the ball away again, and Maguire with a poor ball straight to McGinn, and then Eriksen sees it back to his goalkeeper. There's a pressure here from Watkins, a poor ball by Dubravka. Dalot reacts well enough, and then it's cleared away. What on earth are Manchester United doing? I mean, Dubravka was such a casual stab at the ball, but it just flicked off the turf and almost straight to Watkins. But initially, Maguire's ball out from defence was just so shoddy.
So, the game's at 2-2 at the moment, and there's been 7 changes before kick-off this evening. I wonder whether Erik ten Hag has learnt more from his squad in tonight's game than he has since he walks through the door at Manchester United. If who he can trust.
Skipping past McGinn into a left wing position now, taking on Matt Cash. He plays it back towards the left angle of the penalty area. Malacia drives the ball through the box. It comes right the way through to Fernandes. Lovely turn and shoot towards the near corner, and it's pushed round the post by Olsen and out for a corner kick over on the far side. Lovely little balletic movement from Fernandes as the ball was fizzed into him. He pulled off a decent effort, and Olsen pulled off a decent save.
Yeah, great instinct, I would call that, from Fernandes. With his back to play, he knows that he's going to get closed down. He has to take the shot on. Brilliant strike and an outstanding save.
15 minutes to go, still 2-2. Talksport. And if you stepped out for 20 minutes in this second half, you missed all the action. It's aimed in towards Maguire with a header, thunders it towards goal, and it's punched away by Olsen. Here is Fernandes down the right-hand side. Manchester United on the attack again. Aimed in towards McTominay. Headed away, but only as far as Elanga. Juggles with it. Turns. Needs some support. Given to him by Malacia. Back out to the left, and Elanga once again. Into Rashford. Rashford trying to turn. Moves on the edge of the box. Looking for Elanga. Breaks on the edge of the D for Eriksen. Then it comes to Fernandes. Drives the ball forward. Back to Fernandes again after a deflection towards the far stick, and it just goes wide of the upright and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Two Bruno Fernandes efforts that are just slightly off target. So close to making it 3-2.
Yeah, brilliant strike from Bruno Fernandes, and the opportunity seconds before that from Harry Maguire. Great ball into the box. Maguire keeps it low, hits the target. There's nothing wrong. But again, a super save from Olsen. Just needed to be either side of him.
Rashford moving up towards the edge of the penalty area, plays it left where it's picked up by Eriksen. Good touch onto Garnacho, onto his right foot. Oh, he didn't catch that at all well, but it might come through to Elanga, who keeps it alive. He's tossed it into the box. Oh, the goalkeeper's completely missed it. It's come through to Malacia, edge of the 6-yard box. A real flap from Olsen. Back to Eriksen on the edge of the 18-yard area. A steered ball into the box, prodded away by Mings. Manchester United putting real pressure on the Aston Villa goal now. Bailey trying to drag some of that pressure away by picking the ball up and carrying it upfield. He skips his way past 4 challenges, gets to the halfway line and releases Watkins, who's running in on the edge of the area, and then he miscontrols it. And Dubravka comes out and is the grateful recipient. But Leon Bailey, brilliant, taking the pressure off his team with a wonderful mazy run. And Watkins will be incredibly disappointed that he didn't make the most of that opportunity.
It was brilliant from Bailey, and you take nothing away from him. 4 Manchester United players around him. But if you're out there, and he skipped by McTominay, he skipped by Malacia, I think Garnacho was over here, Lindelof found himself being able to make a challenge on Bailey. You cannot get out of a position like that.
Oh, Olsen's given the ball away again. Garnacho onto Fernandes to win it! And he does just that. With the help of a deflection from Tyrone Mings, Manchester United have been behind twice, but for the first time in this third round Carabao Cup tie, they lead by 3 goals to 2, and Bruno Fernandes has come up with a moment of magic, but Robin Olsen will be hanging his head in shame. And I'm afraid to say that has been coming. Manchester United 3, Villa 2.
They have. Over the last 5 or 6 minutes, Manchester United have been a real threat in front of that Aston Villa goal, but you make one mistake as a goalkeeper in Robin Olsen, you don't make one 2 minutes after. Trying to play the ball out from the back, he gets it completely wrong. It falls to Garnacho and Fernandes. You give him chances like that, he ain't going to miss many. It's more of a toe punt, takes a bit of a deflection on its way into the back of the net, I think off Mings, and gives Leno no chance. But you cannot do that. You're the last line of defence. Don't make mistakes. And what a finish from Bruno Fernandes.
Manchester United, who went behind when Watkins scored just after half-time, have fought back 1-1, been pegged back again, went back to 2-2, and now have got in front for the first time on the night. And Bruno Fernandes has scored his 3rd goal of the season, and it could be a really important one for Manchester United, because let's be completely honest, Manchester United don't have too many avenues to silverware, and this is certainly one of them.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. You have to take this serious. You talk about how many Manchester City have won over the last 6 years. Liverpool winning on penalties last season. The Holders having a win last night on penalties. 8 Premier League sides already have gone out of this competition. Erik ten Hag has to take this so serious, which is why I was questioning why the players didn't do so much in the first 45 minutes.
Well, the Manchester United fans now all rising up and taunting the Villa support away to our right-hand side. It had been pretty gobby up until that point. The Bruno Fernandes's effort screamed in off Tyrone Mings' flailing block. And it's 3-2 to Manchester United with 10 minutes to play on Talksport. Maybe we won't be having penalties tonight after all, unless Buendia can conjure something here. Luca Digne is on, by the way. Cash into the box, looking for McGinn. It's away by Malacia. Augustinson has been replaced. Garnacho is moving forward at pace again. Douglas Luiz is behind him. Douglas Luiz has pulled up, and Garnacho is travelling into the area. Right-footed shot, which is blocked by Callum Chambers, and it bounces out to the left side of the area, and it's cleared away. I mean, Douglas Luiz gave up there because he couldn't keep pace with Alejandro Garnacho.
Fantastic. Played out from the back. Let's not forget he started that move in his own 18-yard box, Garnacho. Lovely little dink over the top, and that's just raw pace from a young man who wants to get in behind his marker, and he does that with Luiz. And you're right, he's hobbling around a little bit. I hope he's okay, but Garnacho, I was willing him to put that ball in the back of the net because there was desire there, and it was just fantastic to watch. Absolutely superb.
Rashford coming off to be protected. Look at those shoulders, Mickey. They look a lot broader now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's one big thing I did notice with Marcus Rashford, Sam. His body language is much better now. He's enjoying his football. It was like he down-tooled under Ralph Rangnick. He didn't really want to be playing. I know he had back problems and a shoulder problem, but he must have been fit enough to play for Manchester United. But I'm seeing a different Rashford now. Maybe the Rashford that we actually saw, who broke onto the scene those years ago.
Yeah, it's no longer Rashford. To Erik ten Hag and his teammates, is now Rashi. And Rashi is scoring a rushy of goals. On the score sheet again for the third time in 5 matches. England will hope that he can reproduce that form. He's been given a standing ovation by the Manchester United crowd tonight as he departs the scene to be replaced by Casemiro for the final few minutes of this game. 8 minutes to go. You're listening to Talksport. Manchester United 3, Aston Villa 2. And Manchester United will hope that they've done enough now to see them through to the 4th round of the Cup. By the way, the 4th round of the Cup is 4 days after the World Cup final. Before the restart for Boxing Day, the Carabao Cup 4th round. Here is Eriksson pinging the ball out towards the left-hand side, collected now by Garnacho, who's a yard in from the left touchline. Non-stop wall-to-wall football. Of course, we'll bring it to you all here on Talksport.
Did you hear Hugh at half-time saying it wouldn't surprise me if this game finished 4-3?
I didn't hear that because I was having a meat and potato pie.
I kind of stared at him and thought, are you gone a little bit crazy, Hugh? But it's 3-2 now, Sam, and it wouldn't put it past me if this game actually did finish 4-3.
Did he put a bet on it, though? That's the big question. And what odds did he get?
Incredible.
I mean, you'd get massive odds on 3-2 at half-time.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd probably got massive odds on a goal at half-time. I think that Manchester United are going to make another change. Alessandro Martinez is going to come on for the last few minutes of the game. Interesting.
It makes sense, I suppose. Might be a change in system.
Ball has been played out towards the far side and picked up on the right side of the pitch by Fernandes, who's scored what could be the winning goal, has been credited with the winning goal. Here's Garnacho. Oh, what a touch that is, fella. Taking it out of the sky in front of the Stretford end with all the poise of a seasoned international. A cross-field 50-yard ball from Bruno Fernandes, met with an absolute touch from Alejandro Garnacho, who again has space on this left side, moves towards the edge of the box, rides the challenger McGinn. That was a foul. The referee should be blowing for that, didn't. And as a result of it, McGinn is going to escape on this right-hand side. Not for long, because Eriksson's won it back with the help of Malacia. Back in field it goes. It's Casemiro back towards Garnacho. Garnacho trying to turn and plays it on to Malacia. Left side of the box, a low ball into Fernandes. A little flick back. Garnacho gets it, tries to turn. He's under pressure here. And then Douglas Luiz will fire that into the body of Casemiro. There might have been a handball there. That's going to be a free kick. Unai Emery's going ballistic on the touchline. He wants everybody up and ready and moving quickly. The problem is Aston Villa haven't really done that all game, and now you're asking them to all of a sudden turn it on. Garnacho's got a bit of a problem. He seems to have hurt his right leg, and he does seem to be in a degree of pain. I hope that's not a serious injury for the youngster.
Yeah, that would be a shame. I think it's just a challenge from behind. I think it's his calf, maybe his ankle, Sam. He had two players around him, Louise and Camara. And it's just a bit of contract, isn't he? I think he's going to be okay. He's young enough to brush that one off in a couple of minutes, isn't he? But that change.
It is, of course, a meeting of the League Cup legends. Between them, they have contested 18 finals. Only Liverpool and Manchester City have won this cup more than Aston Villa and Manchester United. 5 times they've lifted this trophy each. Manchester United want to retain the possibility of doing that.
Well, talk about bringing trophies back to this club, Sam, and this is an opportunity for them. There's no doubt about it. 2016, 2017, the last time they won this. Well, that's a long time for a club like Manchester United. We know we've been through the doldrums, if you like, over the last few years, and even maybe a little bit longer than that. But this is a hugely important competition for them. It has to be.
Off comes Victor Lindelof. On comes Lisandro Martinez for the final 3.5 minutes of the game. There will be added time as well for him to get involved in. He will be part of the Argentina squad that takes to the field in a couple of weeks' time. Their first game is against Saudi Arabia. I'm doing that one. It's a 10 a.m. kickoff UK time. So poor old Phil and Holly are going to have their slot moved.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do during the World Cup.
I don't know.
Free kick on the edge of the centre circle. I was actually watching this morning.
You were?
I was, yeah. They got a new game that goes out at midday, and I was quite taken by it. Oh dear. Anyway, we've still got a little bit of a game here. Manchester United lead by 3-2. Final 3 minutes. There's a free kick on halfway. Maguire's given it away after a push on Watkins. Manchester United keeping a relatively high line here, actually, 6 or 7 yards outside the box. The free kick will be dropped in behind by Douglas Luiz. Is attacked by Mings, but it's Martinez who gets there first. Comes back to McGinn, who sweeps it towards the far post. Bailey trying to keep it alive, stretching but not reaching. Goes behind, away for a goal kick. Away to our right-hand side. Still 3-2 to Manchester United, and they'll take all the time in the world over this. And, you know, look, they were determined to get back on track after losing their 9-game unbeaten run. And it looks very much like they're going to do it now.
It does. And you're right, Sam. They're not going to rush anything at the moment. They're going to try and see this tie out if they can possibly do that. David Cooch is telling Dubravka to rush a little bit, but he's not going to do it. And if they do get this job done, I think they won't look back at the first 45 minutes and say, OK, we've sent a message out to everybody in this competition. But the second half, it improved. No question about that. Still too many mistakes for my liking, but some of the goals you've seen tonight have been absolutely fantastic.
Well, Marcus Rashford, certainly a key figure tonight for Manchester United, a key figure this season for Manchester United, and hopefully a key figure for England when it comes to the World Cup, which starts next Sunday. Not this Sunday coming, next Sunday. We'll have all the action here on Talksport. Every game live from the World Cup. Get our app, you'll be able to listen to all the commentaries. Eriksen's found McTominay edge of the area. Right footed shot, hits the top of the crossbar. Goes out for a goal kick. Again, I mean, I don't know what Aston Villa were doing defensively there, but Callum Chambers was way out of position. Eriksen popped it in behind him, and McTominay had acres of space inside the Villa penalty area. He turned and fired it goalwards and hit the top of the crossbar.
Well, what a difference Eriksen's made since he came on. He can see a pass, and he can certainly play a pass as well. I mean, where is that back line of Aston Villa? It's like they're just playing as individuals at the moment, seeing this game out, maybe committing too many players forward to try and get back on level terms. But McTominay, what a strike.
Dallo right side, his own goal seems a long time ago now, trying to get the better of Luca Digne. Stands up across into the area, Eriksen with a header over the top of the crossbar. He thought that might be the moment to get his first Manchester United goal. Didn't quite happen.
He just couldn't get high enough to keep it down. Christian Eriksen, nice little ball into the box there from Dalot. And I think everybody in this stadium, certainly Manchester United supporters, would love to see Christian Eriksen get his first goal at Old Trafford in front of that Stretford end.
Yeah, 72,000 here tonight. And that's a good, healthy crowd for a Carabao Cup third round tie.
You didn't think there was going to be that many, did you?
No. Well, actually, I didn't know whether there was going to be that many. I was hoping that there wasn't going to be, so I didn't want the tram to be too busy when I went back to East Didsbury later.
So do you want that lift now?
Yes, please. Because last time I got the tram, and the tram was too heavy, so it got stuck and the doors couldn't open, and, you know. Garnacho down the left-hand side, delivering a ball into the box. It's a good one for McTominay, who gets on the end of it. What a delivery from Garnacho. And Scott McTominay followed it all the way in. Villa switched off again, and Manchester United seal passage through to round 4 with a terrifically crafted goal from a teenager, and finished off by one of their own. Manchester United 4, Aston Villa 2. What a terrific second half from Erik ten Hag's men.
Well, Alejandro Garnacho has put him on the biggest stage, and he's come up with the goods after coming off the bench. All of his teammates going across, patting him on the back, giving him a hug. What a ball into the box. And it looked, every single time, you could see it was in slow motion, the ball going into the area. It was getting further and further away from Scott McTominay, but he stretched out his leg and he's got that contact. That's all he needed was contact. Not brave enough from the goalkeeper. I don't know what Tyrone Mings is doing, but it's a brilliant ball into the area and an outstanding finish from Scott McTominay, who just came close a minute ago after hitting the crossbar. Got his just rewards. Absolutely brilliant finish.
Absolutely outstanding ball. Take a bow, Alejandro Garnacho. Scott McTominay gets his second goal of the season. And, I mean, once he gets contact, he can't miss because the ball's so good.
Yeah, it's outstanding. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video, Sam, of McTominay taking the hat off Garnacho in training, as if to say, you shouldn't be wearing that. You know, you're a young man. But he'd be patting him on the back after that ball he's just put into the box there. It doesn't get better than that. It's Beckham-esque, albeit from a different side of the pitch.
I am a little bit concerned about Scott McTominay's right hamstring, though. So I think him leaping to try and reach that, he has tugged something.
Yeah, which would be a shame, wouldn't it?
Luckily, he's got 53 days off after today.
Well, they've got a friendly, haven't they? I think they're travelling away somewhere for a pre-season, mid-season friendly.
Leon Bailey and Lisandro Martinez have just got a bit too acquainted with one another, rolling around and pushing and tangling and kicking and scrapping on the halfway line. David Coote sorting that out. Yellow card. Hold on, did he give a yellow card to Malaysia?
It looked that way, yes. It looked for Malaysia. But this aggression and what we're seeing, Sam.
Didn't do anything.
No, absolutely. Maybe he said something to the referee, but this aggression has not been there at Man United for many years. And Martinez has came in, and every single time you see him play, he's got that aggression, and it bounces off and it brushes off onto all of his teammates. They want to be a part of it. I think Casemiro's brought some of that steel, if you like, into that midfield area whenever he plays. And they've needed it because it has been missing for so long.
Leon Bailey kicked out at Lisandro Martinez's knee with his studs, and he gets a yellow card. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, maybe he didn't show it to Malacia, but he looked like he did. Maybe he got confused. Here is Malacia moving on towards Garnacho. Garnacho trying to get to the edge of the box. Free kick given against Douglas Luiz, who just pushed him to the floor. We've got 4 minutes of added time to play, of which we played 3 of those. So we're into the dying seconds of this game. Manchester United looking to secure a 5th win in 6 home games. And they've made this place again a difficult venue to come. And that's what Erik ten Hag said he wanted to do. And can they crown it now with a 5th goal on the night? I have to remind you that at half-time, the common consensus from everybody in the stadium was that they had witnessed a dreadful first 45 minutes. The second half couldn't be any more different. If you tried, the starkest contrast.
It was like walking out of the stadium disappointed at watching a football match at half-time, Sam, and then coming the week after.
Fernandes in towards the near corner with a delivery from the edge of the box, which is touched over the top by the goalkeeper. It goes out, that's it. The referee blows the full-time whistle. Bounce back ability. Erik ten Hag wanted to instill a new attitude, a new winning mentality, a new resilience into this team. And this performance is an example of the latter. Twice behind to Aston Villa. They've come back to win by 4 goals to 2. They were defeated by the Villains on Sunday, but they refused to entertain the idea of being beaten tonight. Twice semi-finalists in the last 3 seasons. Manchester United march on to round 4 with 4 goals in the second half and a road to Wembley that is still very much open to them. Manchester United 4, Aston Villa 2.